Hey guys, Maven here, and you are somewhere in the ring.
The following podcast is scheduled for one recording with no time limit. Making their way down to somewhere in the ring, Andrew Sanford and Ryan Sprague.
This will be a thrilling start to the episode for folks.
Let's do it.
Is that peanut allergies in children have gone down in recent years. And a big part of that is because parents are introducing their kids to peanuts earlier. Like peanut butter was one of the first things, like was very early in food for these guys. Like we were definitely mixing it into things and stuff.
Yeah, smart.
So it's weird to think about, but it hasn't been an issue at their school that we've noticed. But before we move on even further, this is Somewhere in the Ring podcast where we talk about pro wrestling. I'm Andrew Sanford. This is my good buddy Ryan Sprague. And I just want to say we don't have to get into the compliment what it was, but Ryan just said some very nice things to me before we started recording, and I just wanted to say I appreciate it very much, and I love you.
Of course, I love you too, buddy.
Whoa, mama! Get a room, you two!
Oh, this is going to be a romantic episode of Somewhere.
Yeah, it better be.
It
It better be.
is.
We're going to be talking about John Cena. How can it not? How can it
Of
not
course.
be romantic?
And new champions and tournaments,
Dude.
dude. I am loving WWE right now, despite what the internet would make you think, that they're at an all-time low and they're not selling out and everything's horrible. Like, we will always be critical of WWE.
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah.
We will be the
there's some
first to point it out, but
Oh, yeah.
there's
and
some awesome stuff going on.
Yes, awesome stuff and some bad / annoying stuff. Just like always with wrestling. Just like always. It's
Exactly.
You know, and the business side of things, I think we definitely touch on, but it's also like, nobody, we were like, you know, there are plenty of things to complain about WWE without getting into the product itself. And I would argue that about both companies with AEW as well. Like there's still, both of them have really talented rosters of incredible wrestlers that we get to watch wrestle, and that rules.
We all win, as I always say. Hey, by the way, as we're recording this, November 5th, I want to wish you a very happy Guy Fawkes Day.
Oh, thank you.
You'll probably hear the fireworks outside my window. They've been going off since 4 p.m., which is great. Which is great. Like, I love Guy Fawkes Day. It's a great symbol of rebellion in any country, and and big things happening over there in New York, I heard as well, huh?
Baby. and not only former past and future guest of the show, Jake Efros, advanced to the next round in the runoff last night. So he will be continuing to try to be a part of the city council over here, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, I mean, we had we don't. I almost don't want to start breaking down.
We don't have to do it. I know,
but it was a pretty exciting night for a decent amount of people last night. We'll put it that way.
Yep, we had a little text chain. You, me, and our good buddy Nick Westermeyer over at Somewhere on the Screen. I think he sometimes forgets that I live 5+ hours ahead of you guys. So it was about 5 a.m. when we started texting one another. And as much as I was extremely happy for what we were talking about, I was still like, dude, I'm trying to sleep. I'll celebrate in the morning.
Okay, hold on. Are you telling me you woke up to answer a text?
I did, dude. I'm not one of those people.
You don't have to do that.
I know. But I just feel like, you know, I am the podcast Zaddy of the Somewhere in the Podcast universe.
The official title.
Yeah, as Nick would say. So I always want to be available to my kids when they need me. So this, dude, come on. This is the only time I'm ever going to be a dad. Just kidding. And don't tell me you haven't woken up at 5 a.m. to help your kids, right?
I have, but that's usually because they're screaming, not because my phone vibrated. Like
that's fair. Yeah. Stakes are a little different.
A little different. Even not even stakes, just because sometimes they're screaming just because they have to ask me a question. Which is the epitome of a text. Almost the same as a text. I just won't. I wouldn't even hear my phone if I got texted. So congratulations, I guess that you're a light sleeper. Yeah.
Usually, yeah. But yes, all things considered, hopeful days in the
Yeah.
world, hopeful days in wrestling. And we had a not a pay-per-view or a PLE, but a Saturday night's main event that took place last week, right?
We did. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. We'll be reviewing that tonight.
Yep. Yeah. We had that. There's a new tournament going on. There's all kinds of fun stuff. Let's dive right into it with Saturday night.
Shall we? You
Let's
got
do
it,
it.
my man. Yeah, so we had this come to us this past Saturday. 4 title matches.
4 title
in
matches.
this thing. Yeah, we did our predictions last week on our Halloween episode. Let's see how right or wrong we were. But should we just hop into the? I don't remember either our predictions. I think it was the fumes for my spray painted beard.
I also did a lot of like, well, I think this will happen, but I could see this this will probably happen. So, I gave myself.
We gave both ourselves a lot of rope with that one. I know. But we did start with this match, which I think you did predict that this would open the show. We had Cody Rhodes versus, I almost said Seth McIntyre, Drew McIntyre for the Undisputed Championship. So,
yeah.
What'd you think?
That was fine.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a recurring theme for me talking about this one. It was for something that had so many implications, good and bad. I thought most of the matches were just fine. And I thought this was probably the one that felt the tightest to me, at least. And not that actually, no, that's a lie. One of the other ones felt tighter, but then also because of that felt shorter than it maybe should have been. But with this, I was like, it was fine. I appreciated some of the Cody teasing some more heel turn stuff. I just, for those not watching on YouTube, we got Drew McIntyre on the right here in this picture. And I think a little over a year ago, one of the board members of TKO, I won't say who, posted on social media celebrating that they were re-signing this gentleman, and as proof showed that they gave him a sword,
a claymore sword.
Yeah, a claymore, like a big old broadsword at a dinner he was at, like a gift that, and it looks real, probably not cheap, all things considered. And I just, part of me was just like, especially that was like right around his time working with Punk, which is some of the best work he's ever done. Either of them have ever done.
Bad Blood. I remember that.
Oh my God. Like just
amazing.
incredible matches, incredible promo work, and an amazing feud. The best feud Punk has been a part of since he's come back.
Yep.
Because also it had a finite timeline.
Yeah. All over a bracelet. All over a
bracelet, and it was
bracelet.
And it was great. It was great.
Incredible. That's peak creativity right there.
Bracelet and Punk screwing McIntyre out of a title. Like there was good stuff in there, and the matches lived up to that. Now he's just getting worked by everybody. Like he just keeps getting beat in a way that I don't understand.
I don't get it.
I don't even if it plays into like the storyline that there's, and maybe things would have been different if he fought Jacob Fatu, but I doubt it. Like
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I forgot this was sort of a replacement match put together at the last second. Yeah.
And obviously they can't have them fight in a non-title match, but I was like, there's no way he's gonna win this belt. So you're just kind of like waiting, but like I would have liked to be surprised, but I never for a moment did I think he was going to lose this match.
No.
And then he didn't. It was a good match. These are two very good wrestlers. I'm honestly at like the height of their abilities, I think. Because there was even something I saw recently, Cody Rhodes saying that whatever WWE contract he signs next will probably be his last wrestling contract. Like, so many of these guys are on their way out. Like they're old, they're in their 40s, and many of them I think have now, like there are more opportunities out there for pro wrestlers. You don't have to go into your 50s killing yourself unless that's what you want to do. Like Randy Orton or like AJ Styles, or especially because those guys aren't going to go lead movies or TV shows or whatever.
Yeah.
Not anymore anyway. I don't know if Styles ever did anything like that, but Randy Orton was in at least one Marine movie as the lead. Like they've tried, but that's not his thing. So he doesn't mind to keep wrestling. Some of these other guys, I think they're like, I don't have to do this forever.
Yeah.
Nor do I want to. So I like we're seeing these guys who are possibly at their peak, who we only maybe get to see for a few more years, and it just the stakes were low, and the outcome of McIntyre losing was just I was like, okay,
yeah,
that's it, I guess.
Well, I'll run through this very quick. You know what we're referencing in terms of him losing. Drew introduced the title belt into the match when the referee was incapacitated. Cody
Mhm.
Rhodes DDT'd McIntyre onto the belt before hitting the crossroads to retain. And like you had mentioned, this seems the only thing I got out of this match, Andrew, was that we are seeing the very small slivers of Cody Rhodes possibly turning heel. We thought we'd seen that in the past when he faced Randy Orton,
Mhm.
using the turnbuckle at one point. But I do feel like this was a definitive moment where even the crowd was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
we specifically said you couldn't use the belt in this match. And then here you go, DDTing him on it with their own belt. I don't know if this doesn't lead to Cody Rhodes turning heel. This just seems like such a just a fart in the wind. I
Sure.
hate to use that term, but like,
No, I know
yeah,
what you mean, though. Yeah.
it didn't leave me excited for the rest of Saturday night's main event, except for something better be better than this. That's what
Mhm.
that's what this match left.
Oh,
me with.
fair. Yeah, yeah. I thought it was
Yeah.
like a strong enough start. I watched it with the boys, which always colors my perception of things a little
Oh,
bit, at
that's
least.
good. Yeah.
But yeah, the whole thing for what was happening, it was weird for how like unceremonious a lot of it felt.
Yeah. Really bad crowd too. I don't like
Yeah, they
judging
weren't really into it.
crowds.
Yeah.
Like, I
No, but
know
yeah.
different
It,
arenas and stadiums have different sounds. Like, there's so many factors that go into
mhm,
that. But I will say the Friday night before this was in the same, I think, arena, if I'm not
mhm.
mistaken. And both crowds were just dead,
Yeah.
dead. And that never helps the
Yeah.
situation either. But I don't know. I don't know.
Speaking of dead, did you
Um
see that Pretty Deadly broke up? Or they broke up Pretty Deadly?
No! Oh, my
Yeah, I forget.
boys, what
I forget.
happened?
I don't know. All that I know is that one of them was wrestling as a singles wrestler on Friday night. And I think Corey Graves was straight up like, yeah, he's going to be a singles wrestler from now on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, it could work. Well, hey,
Yeah.
good luck.
Hey,
Good luck,
it's
man.
not like they were doing much in the tag division. They were just having them like be there and put on good matches and be
Yeah,
a
for
part of
sure.
that. But for the wealth of talent that they had in that tag division on SmackDown, it really just they were just
Oh, I was
all
really
just kind
pushing
of
for them,
disappeared.
man.
Yeah,
Really pushing for
because
So
go
so
ahead, go
they're
ahead.
officially yes boy now instead of yes boys. I had to. I had to.
Nailed it. Nailed
Thank you.
it.
Well, should we move to the next match
Let's
of the
do it.
night?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want your thoughts on this one. We had the women's title match, Jade Cargill versus
Mm-hmm.
an injured Tiffany Stratton, we
Bingo.
might add.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you mentioned
And it's a legit injury.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, because that would
Yeah.
make sense. That would make some things make sense.
I don't know if it is. I'm starting to think it was a protected thing so that she
Huh.
didn't come off as like an actual loser. But and it
Sure.
also we'll get into it. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, you see that Jade Cargill did win the title. We'll get to that in a sec. But the fact that Tiffy was injured, it doesn't make this as rewarding in my personal opinion. But what did you think? What did you think? Go ahead.
I would agree with that. Like I think it's a mix of things, which is where I didn't feel like the energy or bump from this until, and maybe I just didn't see it while it was happening, but WWE posted like some cell phone footage of Jade Cargill's family seeing her win and getting to celebrate. And
Oh,
she's the villain here, so obviously they're not going to show that on television. But the fact that they showed it afterward, makes it clear that they're like, okay, people like it. I just don't think it got the reaction that it should have because again, there just wasn't a lot of build up. The match was like it wasn't like a full on like 25-minute classic, but it wasn't a squash either. It was 5 minutes?
Maybe a little
minutes?
over. I'll be generous and say 6.5 to 7.
Sure.
Yeah.
So maybe she was really injured. My thing is it's tough because I don't know if Tiffany Stratton loses anything. If you've already got the injury angle, just have Jade Cargill come out and run through her in like 2 seconds or something.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude, you hit it on the head. Either 2 seconds or make this an all-out brutal 20-minute match. And they went for this like middle ground. And I think again, nobody knew what to make of this. I mean, Jade looked great at the end. She had a huge gash down her, made her look like.
I thought she looked great the whole match too.
Yeah.
Because Tiffy's a good wrestler, and I think Jade has been building to get to that point. And I think she has gotten better. And I thought it was a good match. And I love her finisher. And I love that final pose. And I'm excited to, if anything, I'm like, okay, I just want them to hit the ground running with it. I want them to, she needs a good feud with a good wrestler that she like have her go up against Nia Jax or something. But now but Nia Jax still a bad guy, right?
I got one for you.
Who?
I got one for you. Who hasn't been here in a while who has a very deep, rich history with Jade since she came into the WWE?
Ooh, Bianca. That would be cool. I would be very happy with that.
She's been gone just long enough where, dude, if she comes back now.
Apparently her finger's injured too. Like that's kind of the issue is you can't really.
It seems so small, but in the grand scheme of things, you need it for everything.
And they're hard to heal properly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would like that.
I could see that.
Yep. I think that would be real good. But she needs a big one. Like I don't want to see her in the War Games match at Survivor Series. I want to see, as always, like I just want to see like a good feud come out of this with someone that can be seen as a rival. If that's someone who already exists, great. But something that's been kind of a benefit of so many people injured right now, so many of these kind of top stars, is that newer people are getting a chance to like shine a lot more.
Yeah, good point. I could see this being like the almost the mirror to Sami Zayn's US title. Was it US title? US title.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Like an open challenge sort of situation.
I
Bring
think
up
that
some
would be
NXT people, bring in some TNA people. Like if you really want to show Jade Cargill be this champion and be this like Goldberg-esque squasher, like yeah.
Or I don't even need Goldberg. Give me like Rhea Ripley style, like something where it's just like, like a fight. People have to fight to beat her. That's all you need. You know what I mean? They don't have to seem like some otherworldly force necessarily. Absolutely. I think that could work. I just need I need the gimmick and how they book her to match the look and the style of someone who is that muscular, that like has this kind of like sheen to her. Like I don't know. But I need, I think an open challenge thing would be a great idea because then she can just kind of like grow this intimidation factor. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I was happy with it, the fact that she got the belt, but I was like, wow, this is the match they do it. Like that's how. Also, it's only for the match to be that short and this event to still be 2 hours is unacceptable.
That is unacceptable. Only women's match, like you said, like very scant commercials. They had every opportunity to make.
No, there were a lot of commercials. There were a lot of commercials.
Yeah, not they weren't cutting away every 15.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, no commercials during the matches.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Which I will take. Yeah. I will take.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just really, really strange. Really strange.
Strange stuff, man. But good luck to Jade. I do look forward to whatever comes for her. And I gotta check out that video. I love seeing family watch their
ruled
family member.
They were all wearing matching outfits and stuff too.
I love it.
Great.
I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
Let's move to our third match of the night, the Triple Threat Intercontinental Championship. Dom Mysterio versus who was this? Penta and Rusev. Oh boy, what'd you think of this one?
I thought it was kind of sloppy. I thought it was
Really?
kind of sloppy. I did. I
Okay.
did. I would love to go back and like think incorrectly, but there were just things that it felt like they were trying to do, and I feel like the energy kept kind of coming down. Loved everyone involved in this match.
Mhm.
I don't think any of them have ever looked better. Rusev yelling at a kid is one of my favorite things.
Scared the daylights out of that kid. That is
that ruled.
amazing.
That ruled. Like I think I think even like during it, I was like, why isn't this like a match of the year right now? You know what I mean? Like there was just something missing for me
Mhm.
personally. I was glad Dom got the win. Like what they're doing with it, what they started with him the next night was pretty great. Well, I'm sure we'll touch on that in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there's just something felt off about it to me.
I get it.
Something just didn't feel right.
Well, I'll run through this little sneaky
Please,
Pete here.
please.
We had basically Dom pulled some spots while his opponents Rusev and Penta were engaged. He rang the bell prematurely to
That was
fake
pretty
a
great.
finish. That was
pretty
awesome.
great. That was great. That was great.
This distracted Rusev and thwarted a possible Penta submission. Then he capitalized on a ring hammer spot. Penta attempted to strike him with the hammer, but it hit Rusev instead, and Mysterio took advantage with a frog splash to retain. So this I love. I love Dom doing all this Guerrero-esque stuff on his own. It's no longer the Judgment Day coming in and helping him. Like he's winning on his own, even if it is by cheating. I'm
Sure.
okay with that. This is
Sure.
peak what I've wanted from Dom, and I think we're getting it. And I think this was a good start for it. Was the match a little sloppy? Yeah, was not perfect by any stretch, but it was a complicated match with a lot of weird, fun sort of, lie, cheat, and steal spots, in my opinion.
And to your point, what was even more fun is the first time he tried to cheat, he failed because he didn't realize it wasn't a no DQ match. And he
that was funny.
Fair trick. I thought that was really good, and I'm always happy when they do something that like I remember CM Punk. He's either talked about this a lot, or I just specifically remember him talking about it at one point. But how wrestling needs rules for that reason. Like you need all of those little rules, like the having to hold on to a rope to get a tag, or or count outs, or or disqualifications. All that stuff needs to be evident the whole time, for just a few different reasons. It's the ability to suspend disbelief, and it also can give you moments where we are using the rules to better the match. And so the ring bell thing, oh man, and the camera cutting to him, like that was perfectly executed and made even funnier because we got to see him try to do something earlier and screw up. Like that, I agree with that element of things 100%.
Yeah.
They also look great. Rusev looks incredible. And Penta's outfit was just phenomenal, and he's still like, again, so over. I think he should be in a higher position than he's in. I'm very confused about what they want from Penta now that they have him. We're coming up on a year. I think his first match was January 1st last year. It was the first Raw, was the first Penta, or maybe it was the week after.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
And I don't see a plan for him. I don't see what they want from him at all. Or even having him be kind of like a mid-carder. If it was more of like a full-on feud with Dom Mysterio, it would be one thing. But I just don't know. Feels rudderless.
Yep. He is a Penta without a ship. I love it.
Hey, nailed it. There you go.
Get it?
Look,
Nina.
It worked
Penta,
for me. Hey, look,
Maria.
I worked 3 jobs last night and I'm very tired, or yesterday, and I'm very tired. So I thought it made perfect sense.
I worked -3 jobs, so we're balancing each other. I joke. You know how hard I work. You know how hard
So
I
hard.
work.
Absolutely.
Well, you know who else worked hard? Boom.
Woo.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Ryan Spreck here from Somewhere in the Ring podcast, and I'm just dropping in to ask a favor of you guys. Now, there are a lot of wrestling podcasts out there, and we are extremely thankful that you listen to ours. We are so passionate about professional wrestling. We are not experts, but we are lovers, and I think that shines through and through on our show. And what we need you to do is to rate and review Somewhere in the Ring on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Like I said, there are so many wrestling podcasts out there, and we're going up against some very heavy hitters. So every rating, every review truly helps us climb up and hopefully get featured on one of these big platforms and get the word out there about this podcast that we just love doing for you guys. It is a passion project of ours, and we really hope that shows in what we bring you on Somewhere in the Ring. So if you can, go over to Apple Podcasts, rate and review us, leave us a nice comment on there. Go over to Spotify. You can rate us there. You can leave a comment under the episodes as well. And look, wrestling is hotter than ever, and we are so excited to be on this ride with you guys. So from Andrew and I, thank you for giving us a chance. Thank you for stepping somewhere in the ring with us. Rate, review, subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already, and we will see you next week on Somewhere in the Ring. We got the main event of Saturday night's main event. Wow. Okay, and I immediately sunk it. Okay. We had CM Punk versus Jey Uso for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship. All right, Andrew, go ahead, buddy.
I mean, it's another one. It's like a last minute replacement kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So you can only like blame the stakes so much. You can only like really fault it for that so much. Ideally, this would have been the last match between Punk and Rollins for a while, or who knows, maybe Rollins would have retained.
Yeah.
But I thought for what they needed to do, I thought it worked. Like, I thought it was just a good old school kind of wrestling match, and I appreciate that Punk had a clean victory for the title. That's kind of it. Like, again, it was like I expected to be like I knew he was going to win, but I expected to be like emotional afterward. And instead, I was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah,
right.
You know what? That's funny because you have been striving and hoping and wishing and praying for this win for CM Punk. And I really thought after watching this, I was going to hear back from you all excited and whatnot.
Yeah.
And there was crickets. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I think both of you and I were just kind of on the same page of like, yeah, that just
also
happened. And
to be fair, as soon as this ended, I clicked over to Game 7 of the World Series, which is one of the greatest baseball games I've ever seen in my entire life.
I
should have led with that because then nothing I remember. This whole event took such a backseat to one of the greatest baseball games.
Do need to stress that this was the lowest watched Saturday night's main event. This was the lowest SmackDown the week before, the lowest AEW Dynamite, and it is because the World Series in the US was going on. That is completely understandable. And I think Saturday night main event.
I would disagree with that because here's the thing. Even Yankees and Dodgers last year did not bring in the ratings that Yankees and Blue Jays or that Dodgers and Blue Jays brought in. Like they broke records this year. So I think WWE, all wrestling viewership has kind of been going down in general, but I think that's been happening with everybody. But I'm sure they felt pretty confident / comfortable that they would be okay going up against baseball because, and instead we got what we got.
I guess you gotta experiment. Yeah.
Like I again, it was more of like the aftermath for me. I think I like getting to see him with the belt backstage, like standing next to Cody Rhodes and Ricky Saints and Jade Cargill was fun.
It's a cool photo. Yeah.
Somebody texted me the next day, which I didn't know. Shout out to Mike. That Punk had like the Nexus insignia on his jacket.
Mm,
And
that's
then I was like, oh,
interesting.
yeah. And immediately I was just like, oh, well, if he brings up some NXT people, he's already friends with Ricky Saints. So there's a little
Okay.
connection there. So yeah, I
Now that you're mentioning that, those trunks he's got on this photo look the same color as Nexus too. Hmm.
yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
that could be a coincidence.
Yep.
He could have just been like, I want black and yellow this night.
Totally.
And then the insignia, the hand holding the lightning bolt, that's his insignia anyway.
Right.
But when it's yellow against black, there are different implications.
I got
so
two
yeah,
questions for you
what's up?
with this match. A,
Mhm.
there's been a lot of talk that Punk got pissed at Jey Uso during the match
Oh.
that he wasn't selling. And, he went to hit 2 GTSs, I believe it was. And first one, Jay messed up and Punk literally kicked him in the head, like straight up kicked him in the head. And it
Huh.
looked like he was mad at him. Actually mad at him. And two, so I guess I don't really have a question there. It's just an observation. I guess I could ask, do you think that was real? That he was actually mad at him? And two, where does Jay go from here? I mean, he's
I
getting so
mean,
much hate, dude, from the internet and everything. He's still obviously over with the crowd, but where does he go from here? Is his time in the sun kind of over?
to a tailor, because I did not like those sweatpants. I think that for somebody who looked so rad for like such a long time, now he's wearing these outfits where I'm
What
like, those are
was
just
that?
pants. Those are just pants.
What? I feel like
Um,
he lost his gear or something.
yeah.
That was bad, dude. He looked bad.
As far as the stuff between them, I would have to look again. I would be very surprised. Mainly because they're friends.
Yeah,
Like they're
which
very
will lead
clearly,
into Monday Night Raw too.
yeah, like
But
they're good, they're buddies. So,
yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to see it. The one thing that I noticed was there's a point where Punk, like, he hits him with the GTS, he goes against the ropes, and then he comes back, and Punk tries to catch him again to get up to do it, and clearly could not get up.
that's what I was thinking of. Yeah. Yeah.
And that seemed like it was on Punk if it was on anybody. That's just like, hey, sometimes it's hard to get up off your knees with a human body hanging over your shoulders. I don't care what age you're at.
Totally. Every day,
yeah,
man. I can't tell you.
yeah.
I deal with that every day. I can
Um,
barely get out of bed. Are you kidding me?
so yeah, I don't know. I would have to go back and look, but I would be surprised by that.
Yep. As for where
Yeah,
does Jay
Punk.
go from here? What do you think?
Oh, with Jay, I have no idea. Because I feel like it has to be a heel turn at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know what that presents itself as, but there was a minute where I was like, oh, it'll just be the Usos again. And I was kind of fine with that. And then they're like, no, we're going to like have them bicker with each other all the time. And Jay clearly doesn't want that. But I think if anything happens with him heel turn wise, it probably wouldn't be until like SummerSlam or Survivor Series. I feel like they're gearing a lot of this up for War Games.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as these teams are concerned. So
yeah,
I down, I guess is the shorter answer.
Agreed, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see
Unless
what
he
happens.
wins that John Cena tournament. Maybe that would be the one thing where I could be like, oh, maybe they'll throw a surprise at us that way.
Yeah. Well, let's get to that. Let's give our final letter grade to main event, and we'll move on to some Raw highlights. What would you give this thing?
I'll give it a solid B+, because I liked most of the outcomes. I just I would even say a B. Like the excitement factor just wasn't there.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I'm gonna go with a B as well. I loved the Rusev Penta Dom match. I love the antics, and that really it just gave you something to enjoy, have fun with. None of this felt fun. The squash match with Jade was not fun. The Cody Drew was not fun. This last match, it's a babyface versus a babyface for a vacant title, and it was not wrestled that great. Jay is not that good of a wrestler. I hate to say that, but he's just not. And this was not what I was hoping for CM Punk's inevitable World Championship. So this was the least fun main event I've had so far, and I hate to say that, with the most like title changes. So
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I'm torn, but it is what it is, and we move on to War Games from here. So,
Ew.
ayo.
War Games.
Well, we had Raw last night. Excuse me, 2 nights ago as we're recording this. And some interesting stuff happened. You want me to just breeze through some
Do
of
it.
these, or
Do
okay?
it. Do it.
Okay. Let's see. It was announced, we should mention, that there will be, and I love this. I love this idea. The John
Yeah.
Cena, The Last Time Is Now tournament. This was announced at Saturday night's main event, but it was made more clear on this week's Raw. And the first 2 matches of the tournament were announced as well. The first round picks were chosen for 2 matches next week on Raw. General Manager Adam Pearce announced that Rusev will take on Damian Priest, and
Hell yeah.
Shinsuke Nakamura will be taking on Sheamus. Dude, these
Hell
are
yeah.
going to be some banger matches. What do you
That's
think?
good. Yeah. Like that, if anything, a tournament gives them an excuse to just like almost fantasy book in a sense.
Exactly.
Let's just have these people we want to see wrestle each other. It's 16 people.
Yep.
Man, I gotta
Of
do
any
that
kind.
math.
Now,
Yes,
we need
that
to make
was
this
the
clear.
big.
This can be Raw, SmackDown, NXT, TNA. There's even some hints that they could bring in AEW people. WWE has very ambiguously teased that. I know. I see the look on your face. I don't see it
And
happening
what?
either.
Give me
I
one
don't
of the
see it happening
teases. I
either.
want to see a tease. I want to hear a tease specifically because all I've heard is the tease is doesn't have to be from this company. That's it. Which to me only opens the door to like Vikingo could be in this, or like but like Joe Hendry. Like that's who I see too. There's just no goddamn way that Adam Copeland is going to be in this tournament. I'm so sorry.
I know.
I am
I
so
know.
sorry. There's just no way.
A man can dream.
They snipe at each other too much. If Triple H and Tony Khan were at the least cordial
Friendly.
toward each other, I could say maybe, but they don't. They're both little, like, not babies, but they both try to take shots at each other all the time. And there's too much of the counter programming stuff. I think the counter programming is more evidence that just like, even if AEW offered, I think WWE would make like the early 2000s and say, get the F out.
Yep.
Like, there's just no way.
I agree. I don't see it happening in any way, shape, or form. But literally any other company on the planet could be involved with this, and that is exciting. That is exciting.
Oh yes,
I love this. This really does make up for any criticisms anyone may have had about Cena's run, this final run. And I just think it's awesome to get a you're kind of
I think it's very good. I think there have been too many missed opportunities.
Okay.
And I think I do think they can bring it home with his last match.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to see who that's against first. You know what I mean? I need
not
to,
like the week before sort of thing.
No. I think it could. I think just by pure numbers, because they've only a match. There's only going to be 4 people wrestling next week, and I'm a big dum when it comes to math, but there needs to be. Let's see, that's 2 matches, 4. So there need to be 8 matches.
Yeah, so there's matches. 4 next Monday. There'll be 4 from SmackDown. Nick Aldis will announce 2 matches for this upcoming SmackDown.
Oh, I forgot. Sheamus is on Raw?
Yes.
I thought Sheamus was on SmackDown.
I don't believe so.
Okay, never mind. So if that's so, I just think logistically we might not find out until a week before.
It's coming up, dude. December 13th.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's coming up pretty damn
quick. Little over a month, and these guys have to wrestle and then wrestle again and then wrestle again.
I think it'll be 3 rounds.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Sure.
We don't math well. We're artists. Come on,
three or four, something like that. But it's going to take us right up to the line, which I'm fine with. I think the snag is that it almost has to be both random and intentional.
Yeah.
Like there needs to, if you're making it a tournament, that gives you the random aspect of it. But I don't want just like, again, not to just like name drop somebody, but not that it would even be a bad choice because I want it to be somebody who needs more attention. But if it was like Vikingo, it would feel like too random.
I get it. There needs to be this line. Like there's too random, just random enough, makes sense, and could be legendary. That's kind of the spectrum I'm looking at.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
I think you're right. They are playing pretty this is a risky move. It's a risky move on WWE's part. And they gotta shoot their shot. I think that's the point they're at now. They've written themselves into corners with this Cena last run. And I don't know. I'm excited. I am excited.
I am 100% excited. 100% excited. I just think I was excited. I was also excited for his heel turn. I was also excited for it. There are just things. They have dropped the ball quite a bit with his last year.
Yeah.
And they could still drop that ball even further. It's got a lot farther it could drop. So
there is no floor low enough for the WWE.
There really isn't. And not for nothing. Like, I think when we come back to this, it won't be remembered for the entirety of the run. It will be remembered for some of the matches. Like, obviously, I'm a little bit biased because I got to see his match against Cody at SummerSlam in person.
Yeah, we know, Andrew. Yeah. Wow. That is incredible.
But that being said, I still think the match against Styles set the bar impossibly high.
Absolutely.
Like insanely high for so many reasons. Like, so we'll see.
Yep. We'll see. I love it.
I will say, if anything, a tournament that opens it up to other companies gives my boy Obafemi a chance. So that's exciting.
Amen, dude. The future of the WWE. 100%. Well, Raw opened with Punk coming out for a well-deserved promo, paying respects to Jey Uso, thanking everyone, and then out came Logan Paul. He wanted to challenge Punk, but the Vision comes out and tells him to get to the back of the line. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, they come out, they beat up Punk, and Logan Paul comes to the aid of CM Punk, which will lead into our main event later in the show. But yeah, how'd you think about how Raw opened?
I could not think of anybody I wanted. I didn't want any of the three of them. What's kind of tough is that remember that Braun Breaker turned on Seth Rollins? Remember that?
Yeah. Like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, and
barely
it's already
just
but because it's already just kind of like gone.
I know.
They wasted it, and I think adding Logan Paul into this mix wastes it as well. I think, if anything, Adam Pearce should have been like, you know what, you guys are going to SmackDown. Something they should have gone someplace else so Braun Breaker can just run the yard, as he should have, because
on
they
Raw?
presented. On SmackDown. No, they should have sent the Vision to SmackDown.
Oh, the whole faction. Got it.
Yeah. They should have been sent to SmackDown. They should have been like, idea. I don't want to deal with you guys, so I traded you.
Yep.
So then he can go over there, keep that momentum, instead of having the kind of like spinning his wheels in place. Because I don't think they're going to have him beat Punk. I know they're probably building toward another War Games match, but like with Seth Rollins out of it now, I like my excitement. I was so excited to be like, oh, okay, new Vision, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, maybe throw Austin Theory in there, like someone else, not Logan Paul. But it lost some of that because they just kind of kept everything like it's the same, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. He did something that said, I'm going to be a leader. Like, and that's not happening. It would be like Triple H and those guys kicking DX or kicking Shawn Michaels out of DX, and then not adding Billy Gunn and the New Age, or not adding X-Pac and the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah.
Like that's, you can't just keep a faction the same but change the leaders. That doesn't work. That was one of the million problems that NWO had.
Such a good point. Yeah.
So I would love to see that. I would love to see Braun Breaker go and do something else.
Agreed.
Or him and Bronson. They can keep it with Bronson Reed. That's fine. Yeah. But the importance of him turning on Seth Rollins has lessened, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I'd have to agree. Some other highlights from Raw. There was a tag team match where AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defended against Finn Balor and JD McDonough. Really good match. Really, really like this one.
I love Styles and Dragon Lee as a champ.
They're such a good team.
It's just cool. It's just cool. I love AJ Styles just having a good ass time, man.
Dude,
like, he's just having a good time.
Time of his life.
He's all but confirmed that last year is going to be his last year. So he's like, I'm here to have fun.
Absolutely, dude. Like, had probably a historic match with Cena, in my opinion. And
oh my god, one of the best of the run, best of this retirement run.
Yeah,
if not the best. So
I love this, and it's elevating Dragon Lee, who I think
Yep.
definitely needed this and deserves it. So yeah, and you know, same with McDonough and Baylor. Like these guys are all amazing.
Yeah,
but I you know, we'll see what happens. But they did retain AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. There you go, man. AJ Lee right there.
Sweet. Yeah.
Wow, I never even realized. What a weird Freudian slip, I guess. Weird. Yeah, good match. Really good match. Oh, here we go. Here was one of the big moments of Monday Night Raw. Dom came out to proclaim that he is the king of the Luchadors.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the music hits with the return of Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio comes out and tells Dom that calling himself king of the Luchadors was an insult to El Santo, Blue Demon, and Eddie Guerrero. They get into a scuffle, only for Rey to hit Dom with a 619, leading to a possible match for the Intercontinental Championship. His dad is back, dude. What do you make of this?
I hope they do it for the AAA Championship, but I guess that would make.
God.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that.
Hey, I mean,
totally.
He's got to.
That makes more sense. That makes more sense now.
I love this, and I also like. I would love for the match between them to be the thing that turns Dom babyface.
Babyface.
Yeah, because he's the final. All he's got to do is forgive his dad, and the crowd's gonna lose their minds.
Yeah,
like, they're gonna go nuts. They're gonna go nuts.
I would, dude. That would make me cry. I love father.
I'm getting emotional right now just thinking about it. Like it was so. I want to see that face turn. I want to see them have an incredible match that leads to it. I think having it at Survivor Series would be great. I'm just ready for it. I'm ready for the Dirty Dom face turn. Like, because it's going to be just as good as when, like, Eddie Guerrero had his. Like, you can still keep all the lying and cheating and stealing stuff.
Yep.
But then have somebody that is just so insanely over, not just with WWE crowd, but the AAA crowd. Holy cow.
God. They love it.
You'd think Stone Cold walked into that building. Like, it's nuts. So I think I'm ready for it. I think I'm ready. I think it's time. I really don't want them to stretch it any longer. I hope they don't like push it to WrestleMania or something. I hope we see like a face Dominic Mysterio by Rumble. And then I want him to win the Royal Rumble.
Oof. Oh, that would be amazing. I love
Probably not going to happen, but you never know.
I love it. We'll go through the main event really quick. Tag team match between Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed versus CM Punk and Jey Uso. So 1 night, 2 nights later, they're friends again. Tag team match. But this ended, Andrew, in a double countout DQ. And Braun Bronson destroyed Punk and Uso, only for Logan Paul to once again come out to the rescue. And then he knocks out Punk and aligns with the Vision to end. The show.
Yeah, sure. I like it. I just.
I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing.
I can't think of anybody less deserving. And I genuinely wonder if it's Paul Heyman's idea. I trust the wise man. I'm sure he sees something. I know he is very involved with a lot of this stuff, but I think this picture sums it up. As you can see, it's like the girlfriend distracted guy thing where Paul Heyman is looking at Logan Paul and Braun Breaker's like, what the hell, man? What the hell? Like, what? So hey, if it leads to Braun Breaker breaking away, even better. But Logan Paul, I know, pun intended. Logan Paul makes no sense in the vision. Zero. Like he just not with. It feels more forced than any other option. I don't get it. I don't like it, and I don't. I would have rather any other choice.
Literally anyone.
Literally any other choice. This is the first one in all the injury stuff. This is the one where I'm like, this is all you guys could think of?
Yeah.
Let's toss Logan Paul in here.
It's that AI doing the writing, baby. That's all I can think of.
God.
Hey, we got a few minutes left here, Andrew. Let's end on a fun note, I think, for this episode. I found this website this morning, and I texted you about it. I thought it's pretty cool. It's something we can track as time goes on. It's a website where it lists all the current WWE champions and how long they've been champions. So I thought it'd be cool if we kind of just took a look, took a breath, looked at what we currently have as champions in the WWE, how long they've been champions, and maybe just a couple random thoughts on what we think about it. How's that sound?
Sounds groovy to me, baby.
Cool, my man. So currently, we have got WWE champion Cody Rhodes has been champion for 92 plus days, won back in August at SummerSlam. We've got CM Punk, who just became World Heavyweight Champion for 2+ days, Saturday night's main event. And then Ilya Dragunov, 17 days as United States champion. So out of these three, you got any strong thoughts on these or anything to break down with those?
No, not really. It's exciting. It's wild to think that it's already been 3 months since Cody won the belt back, because I feel like nothing's happened really since then. As far as his story is concerned, I know he was missing for a little bit doing his Street Fighter stuff, but wasn't gone for that long. And I just don't know. The Punk thing being fresh is fun. I'm excited for that. I'm also the Ilya Dragunov thing. God, that was almost already 3 weeks ago. That's crazy.
This stuff is going quick, man. Wait till we get to the women's championships.
Oh, boy. Yeah. So it's a good time. Those are 3 good champions, and I'm excited for what's going on with Dragunov. I guess the other 2, I wish there was more of a vision for what's going on with them, but we'll see.
Nailed it. Let's move to Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio, going at 197 plus days, dude. That was what? WrestleMania 40.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love that. About him. Amazing stuff. Yeah.
Great champion. Love AJ Styles and Dragon Lee as champs. Have you seen the clips of Wyatt Six showing up at AAA?
No, I did not. What's going on there?
They're going and they're doing their creepy Wyatt Six stuff, and it's really rad. It's really, really cool. I think it is kind of in a place where you got people like Psycho Clown and jeepers, why can't I think of his
Iguana
name? Thank you, the Iguana Man. They fit better over there.
Yeah, good point.
Makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
So and the crowd went nuts for him. So it's
perfect.
So it's pretty excited. Also, I don't know if it's gonna pull this up. Did you see they have new mixed tag champions?
Yes. Yeah. I saw that.
Chelsea Green and Ethan Page. Ethan Page, fun stuff. I am eagerly awaiting whatever announcements whenever they make an announcement for the next 2K game, because AAA and TNA better be a big part of it.
I hope so. Yeah.
That's what
a
I'm
lot
hoping for.
and a lot more wrestlers getting bigger paychecks. I'm all for that. I'm all for that, man. Yeah. Awesome. Yep. Like you mentioned, tag team champs. We got Dexter Loomis and Joe Gacy, 115 plus days. I love knowing that they've got stuff to do. I think they're going to work much better at AAA
Yeah.
for sure. Let's move to the women. Women's champion Jade Cargill, 2+ days now. Again, we talked all about that. Looking forward to that. We got my girl Stephanie Vicaire, women's world
Still rocking.
champion.
Still rocking.
She is rocking it, man. At 44 plus days as champion. She had a good match last night on Raw.
God, WrestlePalooza was 44 days ago.
I
Like
know.
I'm so.
It's
oh God, I didn't
crazy,
even know it
man.
was going to be daylight savings time the other day. Daylight saving time.
Yep.
Like I didn't. I just.
Yep.
Neither a
Crazy
plural
stuff.
nor a possessive.
Dark at 5 p.m. now. Get used to that seasonal depression, baby. It is creeping in. We've had it for a couple more weeks over here in the UK.
Yeah, I was about to say you guys kind of yeah.
We have it all the time. Who am I kidding?
It's insane to me that Julia has been Women's United States
tragic
for 130 days.
This is tragic. Julia, women's U.S. champion. I totally forgot. I forgot about her.
Yeah.
Completely.
And I'm going to spoil something right now. I have zero idea who the women's Intercontinental champ is either, unless it's still Lyra Valkyria. Is it still her?
You ready? Becky effing Lynch.
What? Okay,
149 days
that's
as
right.
the Intercontinental champ, dude. And we totally forgot. That is not
insane.
good. That is not good. That is a red
Holy
flag
cow.
right there. Yep.
I like Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. I'm still high on that team.
Absolutely. They are.
Yeah, the Becky Lynch stuff. It also doesn't help that it seemed like they were going to push her as a big part of the vision, and then injuries happen and things get thrown out the window.
It all fell apart, but yeah, there you go, man. There's our current champions in the WWE. You mentioned we now have an intergender AAA tag team champions,
which makes it even more advanced. I'm like, guys, you own a company that has those, and you don't have them yourself. Like, come on.
I know.
Come on.
I guess you got to start.
Come on.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, baby.
Hey.
Let's close things out. I want to ask a favor of our incredible ringers out there. We are starting this new thing every week where if you input the code words into a YouTube comment, a Spotify comment, or an Apple podcast rating and review, we will shout you out on the show. So aptly, this week's code words are Blue Demon. Brought up by Rey Mysterio this week. So again, guys, go over to Apple Podcasts, rate and review somewhere in the ring. In your review, put the words Blue Demon somewhere in your review. If you're on Spotify, go to the comments of this episode and put Blue Demon in there some way, somehow. Same with the YouTube comments below. And we will know that you watched and or listened to this episode, and we will shout you out the following week. Once again, your code words are Blue Demon. Thank you. In advance. We love you guys. Thank you for joining us. Andrew, what's going on, baby? You got anything going on?
Oh, jeepers. I will be in there's a brand new Drunk Texts premiere on November 21st. Much Ado About Toys, which is a Toy Story adaptation written by the great Aaron Lee Schmoyer, good friend of mine. And I'll be a few roles in that. So come on down to Brooklyn, Dumbo specifically, and come have some fun. November 21st. Also, still out there with Dr. Fiar. Dr. Fiar's mad reviews on YouTube. No, not YouTube yet, but that'll be sometime this week because I have the page set up. And then I just need to upload all the videos. So that will be coming. But right now, Instagram, TikTok. This week he reviewed Ghostbusters. And a little tease, if you're reading this or listening to this, tomorrow should be Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, the one I've been waiting for. I love it.
So it's out there. So please check it out. Let me know what you think. And thank you as always.
Funny.
Ryan, what are you up to?
You know, the usual UFO stuff. You can find everything over at Somewhere in the Skies. Live streams every Sunday covering the latest UFO news. A lot going on in the world of UFOs. A lot of big, bold claims coming out from scientists and government people saying they worked on reverse engineered craft, and you name it, dude. It's out there. UFOs have never been weirder, and this is my lifeblood. So.
What happened with the thing that I messaged you about? The thing that was supposed to be a mothership.
Oh, 3i Atlas has made its way behind the sun and is coming back around. So we will get another good look at it as it passes out of our solar system. So, they're trying to get things in place where they can get the clearest, closest picture.
Wait a minute. It came into our solar system, went around the sun, and is just dipping?
Oh, dude, that's how these things work. They come, they see Earth, and they're like, I'm out of here.
I get it.
But yeah, no, this, what usually happens is these interstellar objects come in. The sun is so powerful, it basically slingshots it back to whence it came. So
interesting.
But I don't know. This thing is super weird. It seems to be like doing maneuvers that no scientist can really explain. It's exhibiting features most comets don't. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. It's super strange, but we will be covering the latest on 3i Atlas over at some of those guys. Yeah, and so much good stuff, my man. I'm heading out to Nova Scotia next week, I believe, for a job, and then I'll be over your side in the US for the holiday. So we'll be on the same schedule for a few weeks, and I'm excited for that.
Oh, thank God.
I know.
Ryan has been very gracious and patient with me, schedule-wise. I want you guys to know that.
Not at all. We somehow, some way, we always make it back somewhere in the ring, and I wouldn't have it any other way, my man. All right, shall we ring that bell and get out of here?
Baby. I'm listening.
All right,
I'm
ready?
Listening. I'm cupping that ear. Nice. Best one yet, if I'm going to be
really
frank.
didn't think we could top last week, but somehow, Ryan, you did it again.
There's no I in Timo-Sil, at least not where you'd think. So together, let us make a choice, and for once we'll be in sync. Timo-Sil,
thought I didn't know you well.
Timo-Sil,
but now I think we really gel.
Timo-Sil,
Timo-Sil may decrease your sex drive.
Timo-Sil. Good job, buddy.
Thanks, friend.